Welcome back everyone to part 2 of the Australian Poker Mindset's Poker Diaries series, and boy were we tested in part 1. Our stack went up and down as we tried to navigate our way through some really tough opponents and some tough situations. Believe me, the hands start to get even more challenging as I try and grow my stack and finish off day 1 with a nice healthy stack to take to day 2. Let's get straight into the action. It's been a great start to the day so far. We're about halfway through the day and I'm over double start stack. I've got 108,000, the blinds are 400, 800, and I have a lot of information on the players on the table now, so I'm feeling pretty good. The next hand I get myself involved in is pocket kings in the big blind. This can't be real. This is the third time I've had pocket kings so far in this tournament, and it's only halfway through day 1. Okay, I gotta focus here. How much value can I get from this one? There's been a limp under the gun. There's been a raise to 3,600, which is quite a big raise from a big stack. I can already feel it in my heart. This is gonna be a big one. I put in the raise to 12,000, under the gun folds, and the big stack makes the quick call. The flop comes down 8, 9, 4. 2 spades, 1 club. Yeah, this is going to be a big pot, I can feel it. I decided to bet a little smaller than my size pre-flop. I bet about a third of the pot. And my opponent makes the quick call. There's a lot of draws out there. There's a lot of single pair hands that he could have, and I just think he doesn't believe me. What he's seen on the table so far, I think he thinks like I'm up to no good. The turn is a baby deuce of hearts. What a great turn card. Now I just have to decide how I'm going to get max value from him. I need to get inside of his head and decide whether a check by me or a bet is going to look weaker. I decide that betting is the best strategy here because I feel like he thinks that I'm going to bluff a lot on this board. I lead out for 25,000, which is a bit over half pot, but a quarter of my stack. Oh my gosh, he's just gone all in. And he barely thought about it. This is either incredibly strong or incredibly weak. Well, on this board here, there's really not many hands that beat me at this point, so I don't think there's any way I'm folding. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here and just make sure I'm going to make the right call. As soon as I tank here for a moment, I decide to say something to him to see if anything changes.
I'm probably not folding.
You are?
I'm probably not folding.
I let him know that I'm most likely not folding my hand, and he instantly starts to talk to me, which is generally a sign of weakness. It's as if he wants me to fold. Okay, I'm ready to put in the call now and see what he's got. He turns over pocket 3s for a single pair of 3s on this board for no set. This does not get any better for me in Hold'em. He's got 2 outs and 1 card to go, and the pot is almost 300 big blinds. The dealer wasted no time in burning and turning the insignificant 10 of clubs on the river, and we're going to double up to over 200,000. Oh my gosh, let's go. It's all happening so fast right now. There is so much money in this pot. My heart's racing 1,000 miles an hour. My breath is short, but it's so important I make sure that the dealer correctly counts my stack and I get every chip I'm entitled to.
85-4. 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. 4.
Okay, I'm glad I've done that. I've correctly confirmed and counted my stack to ensure that all those chips are coming my way. My stack's now up to 218,000. A good buddy here, a new friend here, Velk, his name is, and he's been on the table with me, and we had a very interesting hand together.
We did.
I promised I wouldn't bug you about the about what you had. Everybody knows it. It was my ace-10 hand. Are you willing to share with us anything on that? Any insight?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Okay.
Not yet. Maybe.
Good. I respect that. Keep your secrets to yourself, even though I'm giving away my secrets. Tell us a bit about the table dynamics. What do you feel like? It's changed a bit during the day, hasn't it?
It definitely has. It's early on. There was a real, rebuy-ish kind of deep stacks and everything, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's definitely changed now. People are kind of looking forward towards day 2, I think.
Yeah, because there's 2 re-entries in this, right?
Yeah.
So per flight, I suppose. So I feel like the early stages, there was a bit of that going on.
It was.
A bit of gamble sort of thing.
For
right?
sure.
I think that the players now are a little bit tougher. I think the players...
Compared to earlier, yes, for sure.
1 minute call. Okay, so we've got 1 minute left. So the players definitely been a bit tougher now.
Yep.
I think the people are thinking a bit deeper in their hands. Would you agree?
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah. So would you say it's a tight aggressive table now? Would you say
I think
it's
it has
loose aggressive?
It has the tight aggressive feel to it, definitely. It was very loose early, and now there's a few more regulars, you would call it, and definitely tougher table.
Awesome, man. Well, look, we got 30 seconds left. I wanted you to share with people what you shared with me on the table. You recalled seeing me when I was 18 years old, which was like 15 years ago now, in a cash game in Sydney.
Yep.
What was going on? You remembered me.
I did. I was a young 18-year-old playing the lower stakes, and I saw you playing the bigger game and having a conversation that you were going into it full time, and I remember thinking to myself, that's awesome, I want to do that. And I remembered it my whole life.
So I'm your inspiration.
Definitely.
Yes, I'll take it. All right. Good luck. You're playing really well. It's now level 9, and the last 2 levels were pretty insignificant for me. I won a couple of small ones, lost a couple of small ones, but now the blinds are 800, 1600, and there's 2 levels left to go before we finish and bag for the end of the night. This is where people start to get tired, but not me. I'm focused. I've prepared for this. There's been an early position raise, and I'm in the big blind with ace-8 offsuit. Everyone's folded to me, and I'm certainly going to make the call here. Not really much point considering any sort of re-raise at this point. I'm out of position. I can close the action by calling and seeing the flop. The flop comes down ace, jack, jack, rainbow. Well, it's certainly a good board for my hand, but I'm going to check to the raiser because he can certainly hit this board, or at least try and bluff this board a lot. To my surprise, he's checked back very quickly on this board, and usually that's not a great sign, as I believe he's going to bet a lot of his bluffs on this really dry board that smashes his range. The action's moving pretty quick in this hand, and the turn comes down to queen. I'm going to check it again to him, as I don't see much point in trying to lead out on this board. I really don't know what hands that will call me that I currently beat, unless he's got maybe pocket kings, which is pretty unlikely. The pot is 8,400 and he leads out for 4,500, which is a bit over half pot, and I just don't expect him to ever really be bluffing that often here. So I'm not feeling good about my hand, but I certainly can't fold just yet. I'm going to make the call and see what happens on the river. The river is the 4 of spades, which really changes nothing, so I'm going to keep following suit with my check call strategy and reassess whenever he makes his size. The size of his bet on a board like this is going to tell me a lot about how I'm going to proceed with this hand. When I check call the turn, he's going to put me on an ace or a queen or perhaps some clubs here, because there is a flush draw on the turn. So when I check to him and he leads out for 13,000 on the river into 17,000, it looks like he really wants to be called here. I really feel like I'm only chopping at best here if he has an ace with a worse kicker as well, as the queen kicks now. I've got the 8 of clubs in my hand, which means I'm blocking some of the flush draws that he could have, like 8, 9 of clubs, 7, 8 of clubs, etc. So I don't like this spot. I feel like it's going to be a leak in my game if I call rivers after this sequence. So I'm going to make a tight fold here and give him credit And I'm going to hackle him because I know he used to be a dealer and now he's playing. And I told him he needs to go back to dealing. Lost a little bit in that one. My stack's down to 212,000, but that's okay. It's the last level of the night, and it's absolutely vital that I maintain my composure and clarity for any opportunities that present themselves. People start to get fatigued now, and it's not going to be me. I won't let it happen. I look down at Ace Queen of Hearts, and there's a raise by Velk in early position, and I'm just considering what my options are right now. I have over 100 big blinds with 225,000. The blinds are 1k, 2k, and I certainly can call or 3-bet my hand. As I'm thinking about this decision, I'm so grateful that in the previous level, I got Gary to come over and give me a massage because I was feeling quite fatigued and I knew there was still an hour and a half left in the day, so I needed a little pick-me-up to focus and maintain my composure and strength. Gary has a team of incredibly talented massage therapists at most of the regional tournaments, so if you see them around, be sure to hit them up as well. I guarantee you it will get you back to that calm and focused state. Now back to the hand, and I've decided that I'm just going to call my ace-queen suited, given that we're late in the day. I don't want to play a huge pot against a really strong player. He has raised early position as well, so I give a little bit more credit to his starting range. I also think that players can call behind me with hands that I dominate, so I'm happy to call and play a multi-way pot. I do make the call, and the button and the big blind also come along, so we're 4-way to the flop right now. The flop's Jack, 3, 5 with 1 heart, and I've completely missed everything, but I'm a little bit interested still. I've got a lot of backdoor draws on this board, and I've got 2 overcards, so I'm certainly not going to fold to a single bet, so we'll see what happens. The big blind checks, and Velk leads out for 3,900 into a pot of about 20,000. That's 1/5 of the pot in a 4-way pot. This could be 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, maybe 10 jack. It seems like it's not a bluff, but it also seems like it's not super strong. I'm going to turn my hand here into a bit of a semi-bluff, where I've got a lot of equity on the turn and potentially the river if he does call my raise. So I'm going to go and make it 16,000 and just start putting tons of pressure on my opponents while I'm in position and I've got a lot of chips and we're late in the day. Both the button and the big blind fold, and Velk takes a little bit of time before making the call, which I'm not surprised to see him do because he bet so small into 3 players, so I didn't think that 1 raise is going to get him off his hand. The turn's a 9 of diamonds, which is not good for me. It doesn't give me any equity at all, and Velk checks it to me. I've got a decision to make here. Do I want to check here, or do I want to keep going with my story and put tons of pressure on Velk in case he does have ace 5, pocket 6s, 7s, 8s, maybe 10 jack, maybe even like king jack, I suppose, because I have ace queen. So there's not a whole lot of random bluffs in my range in a multi-way pot. He's got to be scared with a lot of those single pairs. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. It's late in the day. He might want to just bag up his chips and not get in an awkward spot against me out of position where he knows that I'm capable of putting him all in on the river. I bet a huge bet here, so if he calls this one, I'm probably going to give up on the river. I don't think there's many cards that can really change the dynamics of this board, when really all I'm representing here is pocket 3s or pocket 5s, or maybe ace jack, I suppose. But ace jack doesn't often go for this much value if I bet huge on the river, like all in. So I don't think there's many bets that's going to get Velk off his hand after I bet so big on the turn. My heart drops as soon as I see him start to grab chips to put in the call, and I know that I'm cooked in this one. I'm ready to cut my losses in this one and give him the pot and say kudos. You've got me this time again. You've had me most of the day. Well played, sir. Giving you all the credit. You're on top of your game. I softly tap the table and he quickly turns over pocket kings. Well, I've made a lot of money with that hand today, but right now I'm going to give some back. Time to reset and forgive myself. Every now and then you get the timing wrong. My stack took one of the biggest hits so far today, and I'm down to 160,000. Gotta reset, gotta stay focused. Since the ace queen of hearts hand, I was able to chip up from 160k back to 210k in some small uncontested pots. And now I have one of my final hands of the night with 7-4 suited in the big blind. There's been a cutoff raise to 4,000, the small blind calls, and I've got a nice juicy price here that I'm going to come along with too. So we're 3 ways to the flop, and the flop comes down 3 ace queen with 2 spades. I've got a little something here, but I still have 7 high on a board that I don't have a whole lot of super strong made hands, so it's going to be tricky. Both the small blind and I check to the original raiser, and he fires out for 8,000 into a pot that has 14,000 in it. This is a bit on the large side, so I'm a little bit concerned by that. He only had 62,000 at the start of the hand, so if he's firing out that size on that board against 2 people, he's got something. But I have a little something too, and I don't really want to fold just yet. In addition to my flush draw, I also have backdoor draws with straights, potential pairs, and 2 pairs. So I make the call and we'll see a turn card. The turn gets me interested again here, with the 4 of hearts giving me a pair to go with my flush draw. But at the moment, I still need to check to my opponent because it won't make a whole lot of sense if I come out firing. I check to him and he bets a big bet of 17,000 into 30, and at this point he only has about 30, maybe 35 behind. So I'm in a tough spot here. I've got a pair, a draw, but at this point I certainly don't feel like I have the best hand with a 4. I'm just doing the calculations in my head. Do I have the right price to call here? I'm risking 17,000 to win 47,000, and he has about 35 or so behind. If I call here, is this a plus EV call? After doing my calculations, I conclude that it's probably around about a break-even decision if I call here, but I like chips and I don't like to fold, so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make the call and reassess the river. Well, the river card's a very, very interesting card because clearly I don't improve, but the queen is certainly a card that I can represent if my opponent has a hand like ace king, ace jack, ace 10, maybe ace 3 and ace 4 that were really strong hands before this river card. So I don't think that I can check here and win with a simple 4 in my hand. I think I need to turn my hand into a bluff here if I want to win this pot. He only has 35,000 or so behind, and the pot's already about 60 something thousand. As soon as I throw out those 225k chips and put him all in, he folds his hand within about 3 seconds, and to my delight, I didn't even have to sweat it. What a great pot to finish the night with. I'm feeling pretty good about how I played today. Now it's time to bag up and get some rest.
Alright, so we finished pretty well. We started with 50k today. and now we have something like, I don't know, what's this, like 150, maybe 200. My target I set at the start of the day was 230. I think I'm pretty close, so it's pretty good. I think the average is 150, so very good day today, so day 2 tomorrow. But yeah, here we are at the back. I mean, it all went pretty quickly. It was about 8 to maybe 9 hours of play. Just walking out of St George Leagues Club, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired, to be quite honest. It was quite draining. It's already draining enough playing poker, let alone trying to film and trying to edit. Well, I haven't edited yet, but good luck to me trying to edit all of this. I think the average was about 130 or 140 by the end of the day, so we're looking pretty good. Still got a long way to go. Day 2 is going to be tomorrow. The prize pool's looking juicy, and geez, the King's Room have got it going on at the moment. Not only is the main event buzzing and the numbers are getting higher and higher every time I go down there, but they have a 250k guaranteed first prize tournament happening in November this year. So the prize pool is going to get to about $1 million. So make sure you guys stay tuned with the King's Room. But yeah, thanks guys for listening in and following my journey today on day 1C. It was certainly a roller coaster. I mean, there were some weird hands there. Some of them came through for me. Some of them were not sure if I got bluffed off them or not. I certainly ran hot, which was cool. Always nice to flop like 3, I think even 4 sets today. So that was, we'll definitely take that. It's not that late at the moment. It's 10:45. Usually these day ones don't finish until about 1, 2 a.m. So I'm actually pretty happy about that because I've got a soccer game in the morning. So I'm going to play soccer tomorrow morning. Going to get myself ready, do all my other morning prep stuff, and get myself ready to crush it on day 2. So thanks again, guys.